Hokkaido, the second largest island in Japan, and one of the top ramen spots with a diverse array of ramen styles and flavors all around the island. And in this video, while we are still in Sapporo, we are going to try some of the best ramen in Hokkaido. Welcome to Ramen Republic. It is like a theme park for ramen. Inside you will find 8 different ramen shops from all over Hokkaido. Our goal is to try every single one of them. And in the process we might as well try to find the best ramen here. But in order to do that and to make it fair, we need to have a set of rules. First, we have to order their most popular ramen. Second, no additional condiments. We need to eat it as it is. And third, if there are multiple options, we need to ask for the staff recommendation. And then we will rate the ramen based on the soup, noodles, and toppings. Now that we have everything ready, let's get started. First location, Ramen Shirakaba, with their most popular miso ramen. It looks very creamy for a miso ramen. So let's try out the soup. The soup is very light and there is not much flavor, totally different from what was advertised. I'm not really a fan of the soup. How about the noodles? The noodle is good. It has the perfect thickness and chewiness for me. The ramen has plenty of toppings, from soft-boiled egg, nori, bamboo shoot, wood ear mushroom, and grilled chashu. That's pretty good. It is a little bit thin, but it is smoky and very tender. One thing worth mentioning is that they provide free eggs. More specifically, a hard-boiled egg. So extra point for that. First ramen, done. Let's move on to our second location. Misono Ramen. Their most popular ramen here is also Miso Ramen. And it is looking like the typical Hokkaido miso ramen that I know of, with corn and butter. First, let's try the soup without the butter. That's good. The miso is not too strong, quite salty and umami. Now, let's mix it with the butter. Oh, obviously it makes the soup more buttery and creamier. Then we have the noodles. It is a little bit thick for my liking, but still quite chewy. Moving on to the toppings, we have corn, butter, soft-boiled egg, a giant nori, and slices of chashu. The chashu is not that good. It is quite hard and not that flavorful. The chashu was a big letdown, but I did enjoy the buttery soup. Moving on to our third location. This is where we encounter the first hurdle. Their most popular ramen has 3 different flavors. So I had to ask for the staff recommendation. And she recommends miso ramen. So miso ramen it is. Again, we start off with the soup. Miso flavor is pretty strong. It is savory and quite creamy. The noodle is chewy but a little bit thick for me, but I guess it pairs well with the thick miso soup. For the toppings, we have soft-boiled egg and 2 types of chashu, blocks of chashu and a big slice of chashu, with some mincemeat as well. Oh, that's good. It's not very tender, but it is very flavorful. The big chashu tastes the same as the block chashu. It is just in a different shape. Overall, it was a pretty good ramen. Our next location is Ajisai Ramen, the same ramen I recently had in Hakodate. So I will just give a brief recap of the ramen. Their specialty is shio or salt ramen. And I will give the soup 5 out of 5 if I added their chili oil. But because we are not allowed to add condiments for the review, I had to rate it lower. The soup is good, but it is on the lighter side. As for the noodle, it is quite thin to pair with the light soup. For the toppings, we have something like fish cake, soft-boiled egg, bamboo shoot, and thinly sliced chashu, which is quite tender. I might be biased, but I would say this is one of the must-try ramen in Hokkaido. Moving on to our fifth location, we have another ramen shop that specializes in miso ramen. Here not only we have butter, there is also some kind of oil with sesame seeds and ginger. So before we mix everything in, let's try the base soup. I don't think I can really taste miso, instead it tastes seafoody. Maybe I need to mix everything in. That's better. It is not very buttery, but it is quite rich and savory. The noodle is like your typical ramen noodle, quite thick and slightly chewy. But what is not typical is the amount of toppings this ramen has. From corn, nori, soft-boiled egg, chili thread, bamboo shoot, small chunks of chashu, and big slices of chashu. The chashu is just okay. It is not as tender as it looks. Surprisingly, the block chashu is more tender and more flavorful compared to the sliced chashu. Overall, this is not for me. Now we are on to ramen number 6, where I found something unexpected. Normally, the biggest item on the menu is the most popular item. But when I asked the staff for their most popular ramen, she recommends soy sauce ramen. So soy sauce ramen it is. Compared to the other ramen, this is like a very basic bowl of ramen. Nothing fancy, just a few slices of chashu and bamboo shoots. But first, the soup. Oh, that's good. The soy sauce is not too strong and the flavor is very rich. The noodle is also perfect for me. Curly, chewy noodles. The chashu looks very tender because it just breaks apart when I try to pick it up. But when I bite it off, it is not as tender as it looks. And it is very salty. If only the chashu was better, this could be one of the best ramen here. Second to last ramen, Ramen Sora, with its signature 3-style chashu miso ramen. And as the name implies, it has 3 different types of chashu. We have a roasted chashu, a cut that looks like a pork belly, and a lean cut. But before we try them out, we gotta try the soup. Oh yeah, that's good. It's like a mix between miso and shio ramen. You get the rich miso flavor and the savoriness like shio ramen. The noodle also has the perfect thickness and chewiness for me. Now it is time to try out the meat. Maybe let's start with the least appetizing meat. Surprisingly, it is very tender. It is not very flavorful, but pretty tender. Next up is the pork belly. It is so tender. It is very fatty and it just melts in my mouth. Last but not least, the abura chashu. That is good. It is smoky, tender, and has the right balance between meat and the fat. This might be it, the best ramen in this place. But before we conclude that, we still have one more ramen to try. Ramen Yoshiyama. And this time the staff recommended the spicy miso ramen. So let's try out the spicy miso soup. That's good. It is quite spicy, has a slightly smoky flavor, and a nice fragrance. The noodle is quite thick and firm. Not bad, but not the kind of noodle that I like. As for the toppings, we have some mushroom, bamboo shoot, soft-boiled egg, and plenty of roasted chashu. The chashu is quite lean, but it is tender and flavorful. Overall, it is a pretty good ramen. And now we are back where we started. After looking at 8 different kinds of ramen here, let me know in the comment below which one would you like to try the most. For me, it will be the 3-style chashu ramen from Ramen Sora. It has the best soup, the noodle is perfect, and the toppings were awesome. So give it a try when you are in the area. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.